Hi there, you are listening to the Guitar Speak podcast. My name is Matt Wakeling, and this is the show that I produce in Sydney, Australia, where I speak to leading guitar players from all around the world. Thank you so much for joining me. Now today we have in replay my conversation with Drew Shirley, guitar player with Switchfoot. Drew is a fantastic player, a real tone craftsman, and the Switchfoot songs are fantastic and all the better for the added sonic ear candy that Drew adds to those tracks. I spoke to Drew on the release of the band's latest album, Native Tongue, and it's a great conversation. This episode is brought to you by The Pedal Movie, a feature-length film all about effects pedals created by the music gear marketplace Reverb. I am super excited about this film. The Pedal Movie features nearly 100 interviews with people like Steve Vai, Peter Frampton, Jay Mascis, Billy Corgan, and more, including some of our Guitar Speak podcast alumni like Dweezil Zappa, Sarah Lipstate, Johnny Barmer, and Brian Wampler. Reverb's The Pedal Movie is available now on iTunes, Google Play, and Vudu. For more information, visit www.thepedalmovie.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by Fretboard Biology, the comprehensive online guitar course put together by Joe Elliott. Now, Joe is not only a fantastic guitar player, he draws on his years of experience as the ex-head of guitar at the Guitar Institute of Technology and also at the McNally Smith Music College. Here's a few words from Joe about the course.
If you're tired of wading through hundreds of random guitar videos and just want to become a better player, Fretboard Biology is your answer. Fretboard Biology is a self-paced, college-level program that'll give you the right instruction, in the right amounts, and in the right order. You'll learn the same information I taught to thousands of other guitar players over 30 years of teaching in top music colleges. If you want to make real progress with your guitar playing, then sign up for a free 7-day trial at fretboardbiology.com.
Drew Shirley, welcome to the Guitar Speak podcast.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Drew, I listened to Native Tongue, the new Switchfoot album, last night. Man, congratulations. It's a great record. It's so diverse, but also with lots of, I guess you might call them classic Switchfoot moments.
Thank you. It is. It's album 11, and, it's an honor to have 11 albums, first of all. It's one of those things that I never imagined in my wildest dreams happen, and here we are. We're able to still make music and loving it, and so we feel like we're in a better place than we've been in a long time. This last year was a hiatus year. We actually took time off the road. We just stayed at home and recharged our batteries, reconnected with family, and just after 15 years of touring, it was time for us to stop and take a break. And so now we're feeling recharged. We have new songs, and we're just loving this new record as well.
Very cool.
Proud of it.
What's the writing process like for the record?
Yeah, so each song's a little bit different. On some of them, John would write it on an acoustic guitar and just have a idea of song, melody and chords, and then we'll just start trying to do a demo. We own our own studio that we've built here in San Diego, where we live. So it's literally like all of our workspace. So we have our instruments set up. We have cables everywhere. We have lots of amps and lots of guitars around everywhere.
Awesome.
Everything's always set up and ready to go. So then we'll just demo out probably 30 songs. And we'll spend a few months just demoing out new material to the place where we're like, okay, so we've got enough songs demoed. We need to pick from these. And then we'll kind of democratically make lists that are like A list, B list, C list, and then we'll all kind of compare lists and talk about it and listen down to the songs and see which ones seem to go together to make a complete album.
Sure, sure. And how much, when you're demoing out, how much attention are you putting into guitar parts? Are you like already starting to think of dividing up parts between John and yourself? So I guess a song like "Let It Happen" that's got a lot of parts going on. What was the process with that, say in pre-production?
Right. Yeah. So that one, John did the rhythm guitar parts and kind of had this idea, and it had programmed drums.
Mm-hmm.
And first thing we did, I think, was get the drums, live drums, to get the energy in there, and we replaced that, and then stuck to some of the original, demo tracks that he had done for the rhythm parts, and then I come in later and kind of layer stuff on, just add. My role is kind of like, bells and whistles and fleshing it out and making interesting little areas and tones and parts. I love finding those cool little things. So I'll spend a lot of time after the essential framework is done.
Okay.
Just kind of making it weird or getting it a certain vibe.
Nice. There's some great guitar tones. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, and you seem to maybe walk this line between just beautiful organic tones and then just some crazy fuzz tones on especially on a couple of tracks on this record. The solo in "Let It Happen" is beautiful, super melodic. It's got a really interesting, it sounds like an octave fuzz, but not in a traditional sort of Hendrix sense. What's going on with that one?
Yeah, John did that actually, and if I remember correctly, he turned on a whole bunch of pedals. Like we have multiple pedal boards in the and we have multiple amps set up at all times, and so it's really just like create something, start turning on off things and turning things way up. But I know that I have a big cheese in there by Love Tone. I have my signature Bun Runner pedal by JHS. Yeah. I have a custom boost that we kind of always use for driving amps to saturation. And it's not an octave, but there are a couple of places where I think there's another guitar track that gives it that octave sound.
Cool. Very cool. How about there's two other big fuzz moments on the record I wanted to ask you about. "Take My Fire," that is just splatty goodness. What's going on with that?
Yeah. That one's just straight. We love guitar fuzz sounds. It's just, I think one side of that was like Princeton with Maliko makes a fuzz that we used a lot on that one, called the B Assmaster, which is a really cool fuzz. And I'm actually standing right in front of our amps right now as I'm talking to you in the studio.
Nice.
And I have this old white higher fidelity amplifier that sounds kind of like a fuzz pedal. It was made in the 50s by Fender, but it's called white higher fidelity. And I really love that one. It's a little 8-inch. I think it's an 8-inch speaker. I should look, but it's just gnarly. Like you can just that amp is so aggressive. I think we used that one. For that song.
I hope you are enjoying today's interview. Now, this podcast is brought to you by The Pedal Movie, a feature-length film all about effects pedals created by the music gear marketplace Reverb. Now, we love guitar pedals here on the Guitar Speak podcast, and we're super excited on the release of this film. The Pedal Movie explores how effects pedals and their builders have shaped modern music and guitar playing over time, from the fuzz pedal experiments of the Rolling Stones and Jimi Hendrix through the shoegaze and indie rock of the 90s and up to the modern day use of effects. Reverb also speaks with builders and leaders from more than 50 pedal brands to answer the big question, how did guitar pedals get so big? Reverb's The Pedal Movie is available now on iTunes, Google Play and Vudu. For more info, check out thepedalmovie.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Fretboard Biology. Today's episode is also brought to you by Fretboard Biology, the comprehensive online guitar course put together by master guitar teacher Joe Elliott. Now, I was a beta tester for the course, and as a music educator myself, I was very impressed by the logical layout and format of the course. Heavyweight guitarists such as Brett Garsed and Greg Koch have also endorsed the program, so check it out at www.fretboardbiology.com. Okay, back to our interview. On Dig New Streams, there's, I don't know, it reminded me a little bit of Revolution era Beatles, some of the guitar tones there, which are killer. What's with that one?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, we had a friend come in. His name's Tyler Chester. I think he worked on that one some with us. And Switchfoot produced it. And Tim and John have been massive Beatles fans for a long time. And so you're exactly on the right track with that one. It's all about kind of a Beatles tribute by Switchfoot. You know, we were like, is this too close? I don't know. It might be. But it's right on that line of like, it's very Beatles inspired, and super proud of that one. And, you know, if you're into gear, that one's fun because Tyler's all analog guy, and he's, you know, he brought in some of those projector amps made by a guy in LA.
Oh, yeah,
called Austin Hooks. Yeah, and he makes these old Bell and Howell projectors into amplifiers.
Fantastic. I love that idea.
And gets some great tube sounds through those things.
Very cool. That's it.
And then it's kind of like an odyssey. That Dig New Stream song is like, it's an odyssey. It's like, I think it was a couple different songs at one point that we merged into that one song, and we're like, well, if it's going to be kind of a Beatles thing, then why not? We can just put these together, and, you know, it can change tempo and change feel right in the middle, and who cares? It's cool like that.
That's awesome. That's going to be a lot of fun to play live, I imagine.
Yeah, it will.
Excellent. Are you still using a lot of Elliott guitars, or did you pull any other guitars in for the sessions?
I am, yeah. I'm still, you know, fully sponsored and definitely using a lot of Elliott guitars and amplifiers, actually. I've got a signature model with Elliott guitars, and it's called the Royal Haven, and it's a fantastic guitar.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Basically, it's like a junior and a cornet together, and
yeah.
You know,
awesome.
You get that double cutaway vibe, and it's very, very usable. Like, it's just, Andy makes some of the best guitars I've ever played. I'm very lucky to have a bunch of his guitars, and his amps too. I just designed a new amp model with him, and I'll be playing it on this next tour. It's a 50 watt or 30 watt switchable EL34 amp, like a Marshall, kind of like a blues bringer that can switch up into like a, you know, Marshall 50 watt. So it's fun. He's a creative guy who lives in North Carolina, and he's, you know, kind of backwoods, but really cool. So I call him a hickster because he's like a hick, but he's a hipster as well. So he's making
That's
some
a
of
great
the
combination.
best instruments I've ever heard, though. So, but yeah, in the studio, you know, honestly, like everybody, we just use whatever we want, and we'll use a lot of different guitars. You know, Telecasters for sure. We've got a couple of good Teles that are always on the records because it's just a classic single coil sound. What other interesting guitars did we use? Gretsch a bit. Gretsch. I've got a couple of Country Gentlemen. Of course, a Les Paul for a few parts here and there.
Sure.
Got a
Nice.
Junior, an old cornet, like a 65 Epiphone cornet that I like to track. And then one of my favorite guitars I've got is a ES330, a Gibson ES330 hollow body.
Hollow, yeah.
Yep, it's got P90.
So it's got the trapeze tailpiece. And
trapeze
P90s,
tailpiece.
yeah, nice.
It's red. That guitar is just magic. It's great.
That's great. You seem to be a single coil kind of guy, or in recent years anyway.
I am. And even when I have to play a Les Paul, I prefer one with P90s.
Nice. Sounds great. Well, Drew, thanks for your time. I know you've got a bunch of other press to do today, so I need to let you go. But great talking to you. I was really excited to hear the album and dug all the songs and the tones, and hope to see you back in Australia soon.
We'll definitely make our way to Australia, you guys. I want to say thanks for listening to all our fans, and that this album's dedicated to you, making our music the soundtrack to your life. So thanks so much, Matt, and good luck with everything with Guitar Speak, and I look forward to searching online and find this interview and see how we did.
All right, there you go. Hope you enjoyed today's conversation. Now, this podcast was brought to you by The Pedal Movie, the feature-length film all about effects pedals, created by Reverb. Reverb's The Pedal Movie is available now on iTunes, Google Play, and Vudu. For more information, visit thepedalmovie.com. The show was also brought to you by Fretboard Biology, the comprehensive online guitar course put together by ex-head of guitar at GIT, Joe Elliott. Check out fretboardbiology.com for more information. Alrighty then, you have been listening to the Guitar Speak podcast. My name is Matt Wakeling, and as the legendary German rocker Michael Schenker once told me,
keep rocking, keep on rocking.
Keep on rocking indeed. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. Bye now.